So you guys are really liking Suits. You've been watching Suits Season 1, Episode 1, the review that I did. So today we're doing Suits Season 1, Episode 3.
What are you going to do?
I'm not going to do anything. You're going to go through those bylaws, and you're going to find me a way to get rid of Robert Stensley.
No. I have to go see my grandmother.
She dying?
No.
Cancel on her.
So a fun fact here about Suits is that they know how important bylaws are for corporations. They talk about them all the time. Bylaws aren't in fact laws. They are laws as far as the company is concerned, but they're not laws that are on the books like a statute or case law or anything like that. Bylaws are a set of rules that the owners of the company and the investors in the company have agreed to say, this is how the company is going to function. Now, the reason that they're really familiar with that is that they mention them all the time. And in this scene, Harvey is saying, hey, I've got to get rid of this CEO. Go find me a way in the company bylaws to get rid of him. That wouldn't be super important, except for another scene that happens here in just a minute.
Let me ask you something. What's the difference between a senior partner and other partners?
Isn't that something you should have been studying when you were pretending to go to Harvard?
No, it's not. Because that's something that would be in the company bylaws. And the writers of the show really should know that. What's the difference between a junior partner, a senior partner, a named partner, or any other kind of partner is what that company actually agrees the difference between all of those people is. That's not something he would have learned when he was pretending to go to Harvard, because it's not something you can learn at Harvard, because it could be completely different definition for a law firm as it is for, say, Amazon or Google or whoever it is. They all write their own rules and say this is how the company is going to be governed. So yeah, one of those organizations, or in this case a law firm, is free to say, yeah, a junior partner, they have some say in who gets hired, but they don't get any profit sharing. Or they could say they do get profit sharing, but they don't have any say in who gets hired, or who is going to be CEO, or who is going to be managing partner. But that is entirely up to the organizations. It's not something that's in statutes in the states. It's just, we agree on these, we write those rules down, and everybody that comes into the company signs on to abide by the bylaws.
See that guy over there by the fax? Take a good look. He's never gonna make partner.
Okay, let me guess. Because he threw a lousy rookie dinner.
No, because he doesn't get it.
Get what?
He doesn't get that doing good work isn't the whole job. Part of getting it is that things like the dinner actually matter, even when you don't think they do.
So what Harvey just said might be one of the most true things that I've ever heard on a courtroom drama. Being good at the job isn't the whole job. And probably every attorney knows it, but for some reason there's a lot of them that don't act on that. And that doesn't just mean, like in this case, they're talking about throwing a good rookie dinner. I honestly don't know if that matters or not, but I can tell you that me being a great criminal defense attorney, me being able to write the best estate plan, or me being really good at personal injury is not always the most important thing to my clients. What is important is that I communicate with them, I actually give them updates on what's going on their case, and even if there's nothing going on, I'll call them and say, hey, look, there haven't been a whole lot of updates lately, but I just wanted to let you know. Because if you don't say anything, that's when people start to worry. So actually having great communication skills is one of the most important parts of being a good attorney. And not just having the skill, but actually utilizing it to talk to the client.
Hey, Ross. You left your searches for the rookie dinner on your computer. Why don't you just save time and take us to Fridays? Ooh, somebody's mad.
Devin, looking at my computer is a violation of exactly 7 hostile workplace environment statutes.
What are you gonna do, sue me?
No. I'm just gonna use it as legal cover if I decide to kick your ass.
No, Mike, you're not. Okay, so a violation of, what did we say, workplace statutes is supposed to cover him for if he decides to beat the crap out of this guy? No, that's not gonna be a defense for assault. That's like saying, oh, I saw a guy speeding, and so when he pulled up to Circle K, I just walked up to him and decided to beat the hell out of him. No, not going to get away with that. Pretty obvious to anybody that slows it down and thinks about it, that violating a statute is not a defense to assault. So yeah, that's not going to work out too well for you there, Mike. What would be a defense is if this guy actually got in his face or actually pushed him or something like that. But yeah, violating workplace statutes, no, you're not going to get away with assault for that.
You always thought you were better than me.
Maybe that's because I am.
All right, so I've just got to tell you, this fight scene, albeit one of the worst that I've ever seen in Hollywood, still a really fun one to analyze because you've got something going on here. Now remember, you just saw Mike walks up to Trevor and tells him, "I'm better than you." And he looks like he's kind of about to shoulder check Trevor, which really, yeah, under Arizona assault statutes, maybe you could get a misdemeanor there. And instead, Trevor gives him a shove. There again, well, Trevor probably was defending himself from the shoulder check he thought he was just about to get, and a shove for a shoulder check, sure. Yeah, maybe you could get away with that. But here's an interesting thing, and a lot of people don't consider this when they come to me and talk about fights that broke out and, well, he hit me first. Right now, there's a separation. They've stopped. There's no fight happening. So we have sort of a reset. Both of these guys could just go, well, we shouldn't have pushed each other and walked away and really nothing happens. But unfortunately, that's not what they choose to do. So what does happen? Okay, Trevor moves in and puts him in, I don't know if that was supposed to be a punch or an attempted headlock or whatever it is, but they're separated, and then Trevor moves towards him and actually attacks Mike. Trevor probably can get an assault charge there. There again, it's probably just a simple misdemeanor. There's no real aggravating factors or anything like that. But he's still attacking him. And then here again, another separation, and Trevor at this point is just saying, okay, just chill. Let's think about this. So what happens? Mike comes in for one of the worst step-through right hook haymakers that I've ever seen. If I'd thrown this at one of my fight schools, I'd have gotten laughed down. But instead, he gets hit straight in the stomach. Here again, there's a separation. Mike is coming in to throw the punch. Trevor hits back. So right there, yeah, Trevor could have gotten an assault charge a few minutes ago, but this one probably would be on Mike, and Trevor's got an affirmative defense for self-defense there. So kind of remember those things. Hopefully you're never in a situation where you're having to think about self-defense, but if you have an opportunity to walk away, one of the best things you can do for yourself is to walk away. You're not required to run away when somebody's, pointing a gun in your face or something like that. You can defend yourself, but at least not in Arizona. Don't quote me on that in other states, because there are states that require you to retreat. Here in Arizona, if you have a gun in your face, you're not required to retreat. You can defend yourself. But simple stuff where we're just being stupid and throwing punches and really bad punches, walk away. Very best thing you can do. All right, so that's Suits Season 1, Episode 3. There is more of the show that happened after that, but goes into a whole lot of corporate law, things like that I don't practice in. If you're a corporate attorney and you want to comment on it, leave it in the comments below. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed it.